The American Nightmare's master plan has been leaked and WWE is in absolute chaos. Cody Rhodes, the man who finished his story, who defeated Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 to become undisputed WWE champion, who's positioned himself as the face of WWE's new era, has been hiding something. Behind those smiles, behind those inspirational promos, behind that championship reign, Cody has been orchestrating a plan so calculated, so controversial, and so potentially destructive that it could reshape WrestleMania 41 and change WWE forever. Multiple sources have confirmed that Cody's been holding secret meetings, making backroom deals, and positioning pieces on a chessboard that nobody saw coming. If you think you know Cody Rhodes, think again. Because what I'm about to reveal will make you question everything about the American Nightmare's character, his motivations, and whether the hero WWE has been selling us is actually the villain of this story. This isn't speculation. This isn't fantasy booking. This is real insider information about what Cody Rhodes has planned for WrestleMania 41, and it's going to blow your mind. The first clue emerged 3 weeks ago during a seemingly innocent backstage segment. Cody was cutting a promo about his championship reign when the camera accidentally caught something in the background, a brief conversation between Cody and a WWE executive that ended with them urgently shutting a door when they noticed the camera. Most viewers didn't catch it, but eagle-eyed fans replayed the footage and started speculating. What were they discussing that required such secrecy? Why did they look so nervous about being seen? The internet exploded with theories. Then came the second clue. 2 weeks ago, Cody was scheduled for a championship celebration on SmackDown, but he showed up late, 30 minutes late. When he finally arrived, his explanation was vague: traffic. Sorry everyone, but backstage sources revealed something different. Cody wasn't stuck in traffic, he was in a private meeting with someone who entered through a side entrance. Someone WWE didn't want anyone knowing about. Security footage allegedly shows a figure in a hoodie and mask being escorted to Cody's private locker room. Who was it? Why the secrecy? What were they planning? Drop your honest gut reaction right now. Do you think Cody Rhodes is planning something heroic or something villainous? The third clue was the most damning. Last week, a wrestling journalist with impeccable sources posted a cryptic tweet: "If you think you know what's happening at WrestleMania 41, you're wrong. The main event isn't what WWE has been advertising. Someone has been pulling strings behind the scenes, and when it's revealed, the wrestling world will never be the same." The tweet was deleted within hours, but not before it was screenshot and shared thousands of times. Fans immediately connected it to Cody's suspicious behavior. But here's where it gets insane. According to multiple independent sources who've spoken to people within WWE Creative, Cody Rhodes has been actively lobbying to change the WrestleMania 41 card. Not just tweaking the order, fundamentally changing who faces who in the main event. And the person he wants to face? It's not who you think. It's not Roman Reigns for a rematch. It's not John Cena in his retirement match. It's someone shocking. Someone controversial. Someone who would divide the fanbase and create the most talked about WrestleMania match in history. According to these sources, Cody wants to face The Rock. But not just face him, Cody allegedly wants to turn heel and align himself with The Rock against the WWE Universe. The plan reportedly involves Cody revealing that everything, his journey, his story, his championship win, was all calculated. That he used fan support to get to the top, and now that he's there, he doesn't need them anymore. It would be the most shocking betrayal since Seth Rollins destroyed the Shield. Second question for the comments: would Cody turning heel and aligning with The Rock be genius or the biggest mistake WWE could make? But wait, there's more. The plan allegedly doesn't stop there. According to these leaks, Cody has been pushing for a complete faction overhaul. He wants to reform the original Bullet Club with himself as the leader. Not the Elite. Not Kenny Omega's version. But the original concept, a group of outsiders who take over WWE from within. And the members? Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are obvious. But the other names being thrown around are insane. Sources claim Cody has been in talks with AJ Styles about joining, with Finn Balor about leaving Judgment Day, even with former NXT stars who are ready to jump to the main roster. The pitch allegedly is, WWE needs a real revolution. Not Roman's bloodline. Not Triple H's regime. But our vision. And WrestleMania 41 would be the launching point for this takeover. The timeline allegedly goes like this: at the Royal Rumble, Cody retains his championship but barely. He shows frustration with the fans, with WWE management, with everything. Over the following weeks, he becomes more isolated, more paranoid, more aggressive. He starts blaming the WWE Universe for the pressure, for the expectations, for making him into something he never wanted to be. Then, at Elimination Chamber, Cody cuts a promo that stuns everyone. "You people wanted me to finish my story? Well, I finished it. I beat Roman. I became champion. But what did you do? You immediately started asking what's next. You immediately started demanding more. You're never satisfied. You're parasites." The crowd would be shocked. Is this a work? Is Cody actually turning? The angle would culminate at WrestleMania 41. The Rock returns, not as a babyface, not as Hollywood Rock, but as corporate Rock, revealing he's been working with WWE's board of directors to restore order to the company. And his chosen champion to lead this new era? Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare reveals he's been working with Rock the entire time, that his whole "finished my story" narrative was a manipulation to get the title, that he used Dusty's legacy, used the fans' emotions, used everything to achieve his goal. Third question: if this happens, would you still support Cody Rhodes, or would you turn on him completely? The match would be Cody Rhodes and The Rock versus, here's where it gets crazy, Roman Reigns and John Cena, the ultimate face team trying to save WWE from corporate control. Roman, who's been the villain for years, becoming the hero. Cena, in potentially his final match, fighting alongside his greatest rival. It would flip everything we know about WWE storytelling. But here's where the plan gets even more controversial. According to sources, Cody wants this to be a work shoot, meaning the lines between reality and storyline would be blurred. References to real backstage politics, to Tony Khan and AEW, to Cody's father Dusty being held back by WWE politics, to Triple H's vision for WWE being wrong. It would be the most meta, most real angle WWE has done since the pipe bomb. The potential fallout would be nuclear. If Cody turns heel, half the audience would hate it. They invested years in his story. They cried when he beat Roman. They bought his merch, chanted his name, made him their hero. Betraying them would be devastating. But the other half? They'd be intrigued. They'd want to see where it goes. They'd appreciate the boldness of the storytelling. From WWE's perspective, this plan has major risks but also massive rewards. The Rock returning guarantees mainstream attention. Cody as a heel championship could create the heat WWE desperately needs. A true villain champion that fans genuinely hate would make the eventual babyface who dethrones him a megastar. Plus, the controversy would dominate social media, news outlets, and wrestling discourse for months. But there are also concerns. What if fans reject the angle completely? What if they simply stop watching because they feel betrayed? What if Cody's heel turn doesn't generate heat but apathy? These are real risks WWE would have to consider. And according to sources, there's massive internal debate about whether to pull the trigger on this plan. Fourth question: if WWE offered you the choice, safe booking with Cody staying face, or risky booking with this heel turn, which would you choose? Triple H reportedly is torn. On one hand, he loves bold storytelling. He wants WWE to take risks and create moments people talk about forever. On the other hand, Cody as champion has been good for business. Ratings are stable. Merchandise sales are strong. Why risk that for an angle that could backfire? Meanwhile, The Rock is allegedly interested but cautious. He doesn't want to damage his Hollywood brand by being part of something fans hate. But the idea of one more WrestleMania main event, especially one this controversial, is tempting. Sources say Rock's team is evaluating whether this angle aligns with his current image. And Cody? According to people close to him, he's all in on this plan. He allegedly feels he's done everything as a babyface. He's beaten everyone, inspired everyone, and now he wants to show his range as a performer. He wants to prove he can generate heel heat at the same level he generated babyface support. It's about legacy for him, being remembered as an all-time great, not just a good guy who had a nice story. But here's the wild card that nobody's talking about: what if the leak itself is part of the plan? What if WWE intentionally leaked this information to gauge fan reaction, to see if the audience would accept a Cody heel turn before committing to it? Modern wrestling companies have done this before, floating ideas through insider sources to test the waters. If the reaction is overwhelmingly negative, they can pivot. If it's mixed or positive, they proceed. The evidence for this theory? The leak came from multiple sources simultaneously, almost like it was coordinated. The information was detailed but not too detailed enough to create speculation but not spoil every beat. And WWE hasn't issued any denials or statements. Usually, they're quick to shut down false rumors. The silence is deafening. So what's the truth? Is Cody actually planning this shocking heel turn and Rock alliance? Or is this WWE's way of testing a controversial idea before committing? Or is it misdirection to hide the real WrestleMania plan? The uncertainty is driving the wrestling community insane. Let's examine the evidence for this being real: Cody's suspicious behavior, the secret meetings, the deleted tweets, the specific details from multiple independent sources. All of this suggests something is happening. WWE doesn't go through this much trouble for a fake storyline. But let's also examine evidence against. This plan seems almost too controversial. WWE has been burned by shocking heel turns before. Remember when they tried to turn Roman heel early in his career and fans rejected it? Would they risk that with Cody? Plus, The Rock's Hollywood commitments make a full storyline difficult. He might only have time for one match, not an extended angle. Fifth and final question, after hearing everything, do you think this WrestleMania plan is real or just elaborate misdirection? Here's what we know for certain: something is happening behind the scenes. Whether it's this specific plan or something else, Cody Rhodes is at the center of WrestleMania 41 discussions. His championship reign will likely lead to the biggest match of the year, and WWE is planning something they believe will be historic. The smart money says WWE has multiple plans ready. Plan A might be Cody heel turn with Rock. Plan B could be Cody staying face against a returning legend. Plan C might be something we haven't even considered. They're probably monitoring fan reactions to these leaks and will choose based on what generates the most interest. But imagine if this actually happens. Imagine the moment at WrestleMania 41 when The Rock's music hits, when he walks down that ramp, when he stands face to face with Cody Rhodes, and instead of fighting him, he embraces him. The crowd would be in shock. Social media would explode. Wrestling discourse would be dominated by this moment for years. And then Cody grabs the microphone. You people wanted a story? I gave you one. You wanted a hero? I played the role. You wanted me to finish my story? I did, my way. Not your way. And now, with The Rock by my side, with the power of Hollywood and corporate WWE behind me, I'm going to rewrite every story in this company. And there's nothing any of you can do about it. The heat would be nuclear. Fans who loved Cody would feel betrayed. The boos would shake the stadium. And that's when Roman Reigns' music hits. The tribal chief, who everyone hated for years, becoming the people's champion. The man who has to save WWE from the corporate takeover. It would be the ultimate role reversal. The match itself would be epic. 4 of the biggest names in wrestling history. 2 generations of superstars. The storytelling possibilities are endless. Every move would have meaning. Every near fall would have fans on the edge of their seats. And the finish? Whether Cody wins and solidifies his heel turn, or Roman/Cena win and save WWE, either way, it's must-see television. But let's also consider the aftermath. If Cody does turn heel, who eventually dethrones him? Does a young star like Braun Breaker get the ultimate rub? Does LA Knight finally get his championship moment? Does someone from NXT make the jump? The babyface who beats heel Cody becomes an instant legend. And what about The Rock? Does he stick around for a feud? Or is this truly a one-night-only appearance? If he stays, imagine Rock and Cody as a duo. The promos would be incredible. 2 of the best talkers in wrestling history working together. Every segment would be appointment viewing. The wrestling world is at a crossroads. This leaked plan, whether real, partially real, or complete misdirection, has captured the imagination of fans worldwide. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's debating it. And that's exactly what WWE wants. They want you invested. They want you speculating. They want you to care. So here's the bottom line: whether Cody's WrestleMania plan is exactly as leaked, somewhat similar, or completely different, something big is coming. The American Nightmare has been WWE's hero for the past year, but heroes don't stay heroes forever. Every great protagonist eventually becomes the antagonist. Every story needs a new chapter. And Cody Rhodes' next chapter might be his most controversial yet. Share this video because Cody's secret plan is the biggest wrestling story right now. Comment your theory on what's really happening. Like if you want this heel turn to happen. Subscribe to Wrestling World CC because we're going to cover every development leading to WrestleMania 41. The secret is out. The plan is leaked. And whether it happens exactly as described or WWE pivots to something else, one thing is certain: WrestleMania 41 will be unforgettable. Cody Rhodes will be at the center of it. And the wrestling world will be watching. The American Nightmare's master plan has been exposed. Now we wait to see if WWE has the courage to execute it. If they do, it will be the most talked about WrestleMania moment in history. If they don't, fans will always wonder what if. Either way, Cody Rhodes has proven once again why he's one of wrestling's greatest storytellers. Because even before WrestleMania happens, he's got everyone talking. He's got everyone invested. And that's what makes him special. The countdown to WrestleMania 41 has begun. The pieces are moving. The plan is in motion. And we're all witnesses to what could be the greatest or most controversial moment in WWE history. Don't miss a second. Because the American Nightmare story isn't finished, it's just entering its most dangerous